Okay, I'm going to go through the main differences between strength, fat loss and a hypertrophy program. I'm going to show you how I would manipulate the variables depending on what the client's goal is. I'm going to go through reps, sets, rest interval and tempo. So starting off with repetitions. The main thing that you need to focus on when you are prescribing reps is that the amount of reps you do should be specific to the muscle fiber type that you are training. So if you are training your hamstrings on a squat exercise, your hamstrings are fast twitch dominant, so they respond better to a lower repetition range. So if I was training the hamstrings for a hypertrophy repetition bracket, which you can say is 8 to 12, I would focus on training the hamstrings so that they can do 8 reps. If the client could do 9 or 10 reps, then the weight is not heavy enough. If you're training them for strength, and you can say that a strength repetition range is 3 to 6, I would focus on getting the client to do 3 reps. If they could do 4, then again increase the weight so that the client can only do 3 repetitions. Now, moving on to rest periods. With rest intervals, there is a linear relationship between the body weight of the client and how long that they should rest for. If you have a bigger client, then they need a longer rest period. If you have a smaller, slimmer client, then they do not need to rest for as long. So if you're having a rest period for hypertrophy, which you could say 30 seconds to 2 minutes, I would give the bigger client the full 2 minutes because they need that full two minutes to recover. If you have a smaller, slimmer client, then they only need 30 seconds. If you have a rest period for strength, which you could say the rest interval should be 3 to 4 minutes, the bigger client should get 4 minutes, the smaller client should get 3 minutes. Okay, so next we're going to move on to how many sets you should do. The amount of sets that you should do should be gender specific. This is because at any given percentage of the 1 rep max, a woman and a man of comparable fitness levels, a woman will do more repetitions than a man. This is because women are better at neurological efficiency compared to men. So at 70% of the 1 rep max, in general, a woman will be able to do 17 reps, a man will only be able to do 12. So women do not need to do as many sets as a man. In total, they will both accumulate to the same amount of reps, let's say 50 reps in total, but a woman will get there quicker. Lastly, I'll go through tempo. So with exercise tempo is 4 numbers. So the first number is the eccentric contraction, the second number is the isometric pause, the third number is a concentric action or contraction, and then the fourth number is the second isometric pause. So if on a back squat, if you had a tempo of 5, 2, 1, 2, this means that you would come down for 5 seconds, pause at the bottom for 2, come up for 1 second, and then pause at the top for 2. Now you need to manipulate the time and attention depending on what the goal is. If your goal is hypertrophy, then you need to have a high tempo, so you have a high time and attention. If the goal is strength, you would have a lower time and attention, and the same thing applies for fat loss.